Hi everyone, this is day 2 of our journey through Holy Week. It's Tuesday. The post is a little late today because of other things that have taken place, but we're able to be together now. Here's the beginning of the journey of the Via Dolorosa that we looked at yesterday. We looked at the first 2 stations, the first being where Jesus is condemned by Pilate, and the second where Jesus begins by picking up his cross and walking this journey. And we effectively walked along this long path here from the Antonio Fortress to the corner of the street. And today we take the S-bend around this very short section. There's stations 3, 4 and 5. And we'll begin by looking at those together before making the climb up towards the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. So here's the first station for today, station 3. It's a very simple Armenian chapel which is dedicated to the first time that Jesus fell. It is a stark reminder that Jesus, by this point, had probably been totally exhausted. We don't like to talk too much about the flagellation of Jesus and the scourging and everything else because it was grotesque, it was horrible. But any of you who've ever seen the film The Passion of the Christ by Mel Gibson and seen how horrific it is, certainly not one to watch with the children. We'll see probably the most accurate, as far as archaeology and history can tell us, of what it was actually like. And it just reminds us that we all have our own times of being exhausted, and perhaps we too fall, whether it be through the harsh words of others or through the pain and suffering that others have hurt us by. Well, this particular station is for us to remember that day and that Jesus was there and is there with us. And it's also a time when perhaps we remember our own first falls, whether as a parent, first time we've let our children down, and our partners, our work colleagues, our friends, all those times when the perfect us that we would like to be is somewhat wanting and we end up in self-doubt. This is a particular station that reminds us that Jesus was always wanting to be there with us, even in our darkest moments. And so we then need to move on along from the corner of the Via Dolorosa to this particular scene, which is the next story, which is of Jesus meeting his mother. A most wonderful little chapel and scene of the relationship that Jesus and Mary had since before his very birth. She had known him and had loved him, and she wasn't going to give up on him now. And maybe today is a good time at this station just to pause and reflect upon all those who have stood by us in our own darkest of moments when we have ourselves have struggled, and to know and remember their love, and to remind ourselves that even in the darkest of times, I hope that we've each had somebody who's been there for us and with us. And as we leave this scene, it would be good also to remember those who, at this time of year, remember their own loved ones. If they have loved like Mary has loved and have lost that person through death or whatever, then actually the pain of that death is very powerful. But with them, we hope and believe that they will see them again, that the promises of Easter will be theirs. So we move on to the next scene, final one for today, which is the station of Simon of Cyrene, this very simple chapel with a simple inscription over the doorway of this gentleman from North Africa who either offered or was forced to carry the cross for Jesus. And that reminds us that A, Jesus was totally exhausted by this point, and secondly that for us, Simon represents that person who maybe has come into our lives to try and help us as we've tried to do our life on our own terms and be self-sufficient and independent, maybe as we've been brought up to be. And here Jesus has to allow Simon to help him to carry the rest of the burden to the cross and to journey's end, or to journey's beginning. And one of the beautiful ways this story ends is that down in the Kidron Valley, there is a bone box which was found, which is dedicated simply to Alexander, son of Simon of Cyrene, a Christian. It seems as though Simon had two sons, the first Alexander, the second Rufus, and both of them became Christians in the early church, recorded in Mark's Gospel. And they, together with Simon, became Christians that day. And, well, we remember all those who perhaps have come to the foot of the cross and met with Christ and met love like never before. So have a good rest of the day. Hopefully we'll meet again tomorrow and we'll continue this journey together. God bless you. Bye for now.